cheesy. Like a Downton Abbey, but even farther back in history, like 1830s. Yeah, Pride and Prejudice, exactly. That genre, that's the one I want to be.
I would like to be in sci-fi, straight up, all the time, with vampires. And that would be it.
I would be doing musical theater all the time. It's insane.
I want to be in a sitcom. I want to be a regular in a sitcom. I love sitcoms. You rehearse, you have your table read on a Monday, you're done at 5, you get to rehearse and they change the lines and the network comes down and gives notes and you change and this, and then Friday is showtime with a live audience and all of that. So that is where I want to be. Yes.
That's my second choice.
But I'm a theater actor and I love having an audience. There's nothing like that energy. So.
Hey, what's going on, ladies? Hey, I'm Joey Click. I'm the co-editor of 1428elm.com. Hey, awesome. We cover all horror, but we also really focus and love, we love the series that we're named after. Okay, cool. Now I'm about to reach my 30s. I was born in '87. I wasn't really around for the '80s, the Freddie Mania, if you will, how that how impactful that was. Can the ladies to my right talk about what it was like to start that and what it eventually became? And can the ladies on my left talk about what it was like to be enthralled in such a popular series and to carry it further, because Part 4 is a very underrated movie in my opinion.
I'm holding the mic, so I guess I can start. Yeah, I had seen Nightmare 1. I was a big fan. I've been a fan of horror films forever, and novels and books. The first novel I ever read was Dracula in like 4th grade. So, and I would, out of the library, it was ghost stories and all of this, So I was thrilled, to finally get the opportunity to audition for 4. And yes, the series was very, and I had seen Nightmare 3. I love Dream Warriors 2. I just thought the kills in that were just so evil. Oh my gosh. So I was a huge fan. So I was so excited to be, become part of the series. Again, though, reflecting on to what Heather said too, I had no idea that almost 30 years later, the impact of that it would have on my life as well. So yeah, I think that was kind of answering the question for the ladies on the left. So, but interesting enough too, Nightmare 4, it was maybe underrated, perhaps, but I don't know, but it did phenomenal at the box office. It did like $50 million at the box office. Yeah, so Rodney Eastman and I argue all the time whether 3 or 4 made more money at the box office. I love Rodney, it's fun.
I would like to say that Lisa is the only person. So we need to do, I don't know, what would it be, 10 now?
Number 10, number 9, I don't know if I add them all up, but
We need to, Lisa, come on. You're Lisa lives. Alice lives. Yes, Alice lives, and she does. I don't know if we can start like some kind of, Facebook page to try to get. No.
We need to join the club.
and I of course had never heard of it. And I auditioned for it.
What? Heather, guess what? Yeah, I had never heard of Nightmare on Elm Street when I auditioned either. When you're in the time, you don't think that it's special. You always think like, don't you remember like the 60s was so cool when we were in the 80s, we wanted to have lived in the 60s and maybe the 70s, but in the 80s it was, I don't know, I didn't love the hair, I didn't love the shoulder pads, I didn't love, the neon colors, like the flash dance outfits, I just didn't jive with the 80s very well, and then to be on a sitcom, I had no idea we would be like the last of a dying breed of sitcom that really doesn't exist today. And that wholesome family show, and you can watch on Friday night with your kids, it's doesn't really exist on network TV anyway. So we just don't know. And now in retrospect, it looks like all those glory days, right? but at the time, it did not. The cars weren't even that great either.
The music was awesome. The music was awesome. The music made up for it. Yeah.
It's the whole thing of, when you look back and go, wow. I would, like all of us, having no clue we would have been part
Well, I think that we
You
said
were an 80s star.
know about that, but you know what? I do have to say, I feel really fortunate about the iconic films from the 80s that I got to be a part of that all still seem to have a vibrant life so many years later.
Fast Times at Ridgemont.
Yeah.
Silverado.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. Better Off Dead.
Better Off Dead.
Powell Highway, which is like won a bunch of awards, and and then I was in these vampire movies, but they're vampire movies.
The Highlander.
Oh yeah, the Highlander TV series.
Oh, yeah.
But no, it's been all downhill since. But there was just, I think it was an interesting time because I think now there's such a proliferation of networks and things happening, but we felt really fortunate to be like culled from the herd and given these amazing fun roles to play, and that for whatever reason there was a moment in time that there was that era of movies, be it the romantic comedies or the teen genre comedies or horror, something about them has held on and resonated because I was in a whole bunch of movies in the 90s and nobody's ever seen them. So it's like an interesting thing of whatever that energy was or the way they were filmed or something, they just have this beautiful life that still goes in connection, and I would have never thought it was going to happen. It's such a miracle and such a beautiful thing to feel lucky enough.
Nail on the head though was that the movies in the 80s celebrated young people and youth and teenagers in a way that movies never had before. And coming of age, and so the reason that young people, generation after generation, can like really identify with these is that I remember like auditioning for things like Quarterback Princess and Pretty in Pink and all the John Hughes movies. What's the one of Adventures in Babysitting, like all of those, like they all celebrated like being young. And I think that's why they're so great for anybody, even 20, 30 years later.
Because everybody got to experience it. I don't know, like people come up and tell the greatest stories about the first time they saw them or the date they were having and how they identified. And I think they use more approachable people in their movies as well, than where you can see like, oh, she looks like she lives on my street. And I think there's something, and everything was tactile and practical. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, you're like, hi, I can't compete with that.
Well, and a lot of the people in the movies, you already know them so well from TMZ or, People Magazine. And you feel like you are familiar with a lot of the actresses that you're going to see on Friday night in this series of magazine. But
Everyone in the 80s, it was kind of the first time you were seeing some of these actresses, and you always felt like they were fresh and new people coming. Nowadays, I think one of the biggest problems is that it is kind of the same people over and over again.
Social media, there's no mystery. Like in the 80s, nobody would know anything about us
but
unless
Heather
they.
Langenkamp was a raging alcoholic.
Nobody ever found out. No. So not true. I'm totally
All
joking.
under wraps.
I kept it under wraps. But now the available information about every actor that you like takes away all the mystery. And then you're watching a celebrity or you're watching a known entity pretend to be something, and it's like scientifically proven that your unconscious doesn't allow you to completely absorb into the experience you're having. And so I think the 80s were the last era where you really stayed much more anonymous, other than like what People Magazine and the occasional like news, the occasional arrest. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. This is me getting a pedicure, eating a donut, and then then you're supposed to go and be totally lost in their movie, and you're like, oh, it doesn't.
Well, I want to thank you for taking time out and talking with us today. Put your hands together for our